starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rhett Richins. I'm one of the sales individuals here at CaseWorthy. And I'd like to welcome you all to the CaseWorthy webinar series featuring Goodwill of North Georgia. We are very excited. We have Jenny Taylor on the line with us today. She is the Senior Director of Career Services out there in Atlanta. Also on the call with us regionally is Thomas Horst, Sam Coy, Richard Rapolo, and the President of CaseWorthy, Mr. Scott Argyris. Next slide, please, Jenny. And we're working in tandem here with a couple of presenters.
Sorry, decided to stop.
Hey, you know what, Jenny?
There we go.
Everyone's just excited to hear you, so no one's too sad about missing out.
Good morning, everyone.
Let me see here if we can get that turned around. There we go. For the agenda today, we're just going to spend a little bit of time, introduce CaseWorthy. I want to spend about 5 minutes is all here. We'll get to the meaty stuff as quick as possible. We're going to introduce you to our web portal today, primarily through the CareerConnector view, which Jenny and her team have designed out there in Georgia, which was executed by the CaseWorthy development team. And we're very excited about our partnership with Goodwill of North Georgia. They've been a dream partner through this whole process. We'll talk about other employment features just for a moment, and then we also have the live presentation to look forward to. Jenny is going to take control here. She's going to walk us through a couple of things that they were looking to accomplish. She's going to introduce herself. They're going to talk a little bit about what they do in their community, how Jenny and her team impact individuals. They'll talk about numbers, those kinds of things. And then one of my slides, the Boldly Go Where No Goodwill Has Gone Before, and then why they went virtual. So they're going to talk about what other Goodwills have done to inspire them on their path of their goals. We'll go into the live CareerConnector presentation where we'll actually talk about intakes and employment dashboards and all of those really cool features that were in the invite that all of you signed up for. And then we'll talk a little bit about reporting if we have time, and then always we will open it up for a Q&A section where we can ask questions. Now, one of the best things to do is to expand out your GoToWebinar window, click on the questions and type them in as we go. We're going to read off those questions and have them addressed by Jenny if need be. If it's something that we can ask or answer very quickly, Scott does a good job of monitoring those and answering those as we go through the presentation. CaseWorthy was incorporated in January of 2008 by our CEO, Mr. Brian Bingle, and he had spent many years in the software world, but nearly the previous 10 as the president of another health and human social services organization. And what he wanted to do was to start fresh with a contemporary product, something that allowed for plug-and-play building blocks and rapid development so that we can add in all of these new and future technologies as they become available. But it needed to provide a revolutionary service model, and it needed to automate business processes and increase your data mining abilities. And we've accomplished that all in CaseWorthy by creating an enterprise-wide solution. No more multiple systems for multiple programs. House everything that you do under CaseWorthy, including this great web portal functionality that we're going to talk about today. Okay, next for me, please, Jenny. A couple of the differentiators. These are things that we won't be able to talk about today, so I wanted to introduce you to some of the database features of CaseWorthy. It's important to understand that anything that we're showing you today that's displayed out through the web portal is also supported and functionality that you are able to utilize within the CaseWorthy database, the actual CaseWorthy application. The way that we accomplish our flexible and ease of use is through local configuration and tools. These are the same tools that we've used to configure and build out the web portal, as well as any of the forms that we change, roles that we build, workflows, eligibility engine, rules, those kinds of things. We utilize workflow engines to ensure that you're capturing all of the data that you need to. We'll see one of those today through the intake process. We have a wide variety of reports, compliance reports, so whether you're talking about whatever your vertical is, we have a wide variety of compliance reports that we take the onus upon us here at CaseWorthy to keep completely compliant as data standards change and updates are required. We do all of that for you so that with the click of your mouse you can stay compliant. Wide variety of operational reports. We utilize SSRS reporting for drill down capabilities, so you can draw a report as wide as all the services you provided for all of your programs for an entire year, and with the point and click of your mouse drill down to the end clients that actually receive those services and make up those statistics. Some of the integration points, we have a full document management system within the application for scanning, uploading, storing files. Those files can be submitted and presented through the web portal as well. Send an email directly out through CaseWorthy. We have a variety of different calendars that we utilize for clients, appointments, personal work calendars, events, those kinds of things with check-in capabilities, logging absences. All of that can be done through the calendaring. Biometrics, signatures, geocoding for spatial mapping purposes, so you can predefine territories by drawing them on a map and then run those out to your reports. So you're no longer limited to city, state, and zip codes. You can make your own territories or use one of any of the thousands of predefined territories and neighborhoods that we can bring into your local database. We also utilize a wide variety of touchscreen technologies, responsive web designs that automatically adjust based on screen resolutions. But the whole point is that any device that has an internet browser and an internet connection can access the full CaseWorthy application. So whether you're talking about running reports, analytics, intakes, the entire application is available on your cell phone should you choose to utilize it that way. And this is just a few that we wanted to touch on. All of this is available to us because of our contemporary architecture and our plug-and-play building blocks. We're going to talk about the employment portal today, eligibility engine. A lot of these are topics for great webinars that we present in this series. Okay, next for me, Jenny. I forgot to say please. I think that was the issue.
No, it's just, I think it goes to sleep in between.
Well, that's okay. I may have put everyone to sleep anyway with my voice. A little bit about the web portal. Full configuration with the app tool set, as I mentioned earlier. We train you on how to utilize all of those tools so you can make any changes on a local level. We have clients that do that. That take complete ownership over their system, build out all of their own stuff to the point that the system is less recognizable. We also have clients that want us to make every change. So it's a 50-50. You can make any choices that you want to, but we train you on the use of the full tool set that we utilize internally. The web portal is being utilized in a variety of different ways. Obviously, employment, which is the third bullet there that we're going to be talking about today. On top of that, grant management, which we're working with Manatee County in Florida to finalize and build out, where you'll have the ability to submit documents and to submit all of your grants, go through the full scoring and awards process. Jenny's team's also utilizing our portal in a kiosk mode so that individuals can do self-registrations and intakes and are having great success. I believe she'll talk about that in her portion. Some of the other portal features, provider profiles, volunteer management, student profiles for parents, community outreach, event management. The list goes on and on. Any functionality internally can be displayed through the portal. I wanted to touch on something here. I'm good. Please continue on, Jenny. That if you do have any questions or need to contact us, please reach out to us, 877-347-0877, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have that could come up. We're going to provide you with a copy of anything that you would like to from this presentation or the PowerPoint. But the important thing that I wanted to touch on here is that we have our next Wednesday's webinar for our webinar series, which is going to touch on the employment features, primarily through the database view. So how do you internally manage individuals who are seeking employment? How do you internally log those retentions, placements, and histories, as well as the ability to suggest classes based on assessment scores. And Jenny, thank you so much for being on the call with us today. We're all very excited. This is the important part that everybody's been waiting for, and I'm excited to turn this over to you now. Thanks, Jenny.
Well, thanks so much. Hello to everybody out there, all of our Goodwill friends and family, as well as some of the other folks who have joined us from other fine organizations. I want to share with you a little bit today about what we've built together with the folks at CaseWorthy and some of our other vendor partners. That's me. I've been at Goodwill for a little over 10 years, and I joined through a merger. And our Goodwill has both employment services in high-volume career centers and intensive services, long-term training programs for people with barriers to employment. So we're going to go through a little bit of that. But what I'm excited to talk to you about is virtual career services. So I know I'm mixing my metaphors because today is May 4th, and I'm a sci-fi nerd, so may the 4th be with you. But that's a Star Wars reference, and this one is a Star Trek reference. But this is straight out of our 5-year strategic plan. In 2013, I had the pleasure of helping to build this along with many other folks in our lead throughout our entire organization at Goodwill of North Georgia, and our goal is to assist 100,000 people to become employed and to boldly go where no Goodwill has gone before. And we are on track to do that. This year we will place 20,000 people. We have 2 more months to do that, and you see in the application where we are so far. But as I said, most of those folks are through our Career Center high volume services, and another 1,000 of the 20,000 are through our intensive services training program. So really, nobody has done this before. We really stood on the shoulders of giants. Many of you were part of the evolution of virtual career services, and I know that many of you are currently working on it today. But we learned from you. You know, the Jacksonville, Phoenix, and New York all have systems that do online self-registration for your job seekers and the people that you serve, and have job search tools that are quite robust. We all know Raleigh-Durham, with their 24 million people served through GCF Learn Free, which is an amazing resource for online learning, and Tallahassee has launched their GW Career Campus, which is very nice as well. I encourage you to go look at it. Las Vegas has Goodwill.jobs with online job matching. Indianapolis has the very robust and cool Domo with data analytics and graphical data trends. And of course, our member service agency, GII, has worked with Accenture to do good prospects for career advice and event calendar mentors. And all of us this week are in Goodwill Week, and I know there's a lot going on with that. So we researched all of this over the last several years, and I know there's more that aren't represented here that have just evolved and we're probably not aware. So we're eager to learn what you all are doing, because we are very willing to share and to learn from each other. So first, though, before we launch virtual career services, we had to address the inefficiency of our system. So we have 60,000 new unduplicated count of people walking into our centers annually. Next year it'll be 70,000, and each one of those people, up until last year, was filling out a piece of paper front and back and handing it in, and then our staff was typing it in, and we had huge numbers of data entry people and had all the errors that you can imagine go with that. So we were able to launch at the start of this fiscal year paperless self-registration using the database and the portal from CaseWorthy, and we moved from GoodTrack and did a data migration that it took a bit of time, but we were able to move all of our records over to a custom configuration and using some of the baseline configuration out of the box from CaseWorthy. So that was the base, the architecture for starting this. But the portal is what lets us do virtual career services. So why virtual? Well, we want to deepen engagement with our existing customers. For those of us who don't have access to UI, to unemployment insurance, we can't look up in the system to find out when people have gone to work if they visited our career centers. We have to stay involved with them and the employers who hire them. So we want to increase the percentage of people who report back employment successfully if we're not in touch with them, and this is one mechanism to do it. We also want to enhance the quality of service delivery. You know, we're only open a certain number of hours. We have right now 11 career centers, about to be 13, that are spread throughout our North Georgia community, but those are limited to people who can get to us and people who can get to us during the times that we're open. We want to reach new people who don't see Goodwill as an employment resource, and to start to break open their minds. You all know the same phrase we all hear, I just didn't know all the stuff that you did. So this is another mechanism to do that. So when we were designing this platform that you're about to see, we first wanted to reach out to the people who we currently serve and the ones that we could potentially serve that we aren't yet. And we asked them why they might come to a Goodwill Career Center. And what we heard was a resounding, number one, we are encouraging. It is different than a government career center or one-stop where regulatory compliance is a big part of what they have to do, and the encouragement that they receive. They get one-on-one service. We have real jobs that are hyper-local in their communities, and hiring managers who are ready to give them an interview if they're prepared and pre-screened, and we have relationships with them. It's not just tens of thousands of job leads that they have to siphon through to try and find the real ones, and the despair associated with that, you all know probably very well. And then they want more all the time. And so being able to do it from a self-directed way, they can get more. So we focus on unmet needs. We don't want to become monster.com. We don't want to duplicate what others are doing. And so we looked to find out who else was doing all of this. And while some of our Goodwill friends are doing some of it, and nobody was doing it all. And so that's how we built this tool. And so I want to show you. It's we call it CareerConnector, and this is what it looks like. It starts with a bit of marketing, because we anticipate in the middle of this month that people will be able to access this outside of our bricks and mortar centers. So right now, people come in, when they come and sit down at a computer in our Goodwill Career Centers, this is what they see. But because we anticipate that folks will come and visit this without ever having walked in, we felt like we needed to do a little bit of enticement to get them in. So we're talking a little bit about all the features and benefits that they can give, as well as some testimonials from people that we have served that scroll at the bottom. And I'm just going to show this. Hopefully the web is fast enough to show this video that we produced to give them a little sense of what we do.
Hi, welcome to the Career Center. Thank you. We are here to help you find employment. Are you ready to get started? Absolutely. Okay. Open to the public and free of charge, our Career Centers feature access to computers and the internet, local job postings, and workshop listings. Hi, Steve. Good to see you again.
Oh, hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Folks like Steve can come into our Career Center and receive one-on-one assistance from our staff, everything from online job search to mock interviews. We have strong connections to many local businesses and hold regular job fairs. It's a great way for job seekers to meet employers who have immediate hiring needs and discuss potential opportunities, some of which you can't find anywhere else. Our Career Centers also have rooms where companies and job seekers can conduct in-person interviews. Because we provide employers with job-ready candidates, they often come exclusively to us to fill openings. To prepare you as much as possible, we offer courses in writing resumes and cover letters, interview skills, and financial literacy. Hey, it looks like Peter's teaching a class today. You can also take training courses in a variety of in-demand trades. Graduates emerge with marketable skills and the ability to both find a job and start a career. Did you know our services are also available online? Our online services include video tutorials, job boards, and a job match function that connects your skills with local employer needs. Sydney, you've already earned a couple of badges. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Every year, thousands of people use our career centers to develop skills, get trained, and find employment. So come to your local career center and see how we can help you. See you soon.
So none of those are actors. Those are all of our staff at Goodwill of North Georgia. And so a little shout out to them and to our former Vice President of Marketing, Jim Caponegro, who is now the CEO, President of the Goodwill in Oakland. So congratulations to Jim. But that's a little sense of what folks are doing in our centers. And now I'm going to launch in as if I'm a job seeker and walk you through, see, this is what happens when you go through a live webinar. We're going to get an error. So this is what an error looks like when we have our portal. So let me see if I can get that fixed real quick and do another launch. There we go. So put that guy on your punch list, guys. After you watch the video, there's an error when we try and register. So now I'm going to come back in as a returning user with my email as my password and log in. And this is what our job seekers see today. They are welcomed by their virtual career coach, Renee. They're going to see testimonials from the folks that we have served, as well as employers who have hired our graduates. And they're going to be able to look at all of the different things here, but until they complete their registration, they cannot click through and find this stuff. It's very important for us to gather the information about the job seeker and have their account and intake set up before they begin accessing services. So we did a bit of a tease so that they could see everything, and CaseWorthy programmed the portal so that we wouldn't be able to, people wouldn't be able to click through without finishing it. So let's get started is the first thing that they see, and it's going to start to customize their experience in the portal. So the first thing that it's going to do is ask them about themselves. So are they looking for a better job? They have a job and need to advance in their career. I have an interview tomorrow. Whatever their personal experience is, it's going to, once they answer these questions, it's going to begin to tailor their experience within the portal. So we ask about what kind of work they want to do and what kind of employment. And as soon as they get through that, then it's going to bring them to the full registration. And we give them a little bit of information about how long it's going to take, 10 to 15 minutes to get through the registration. It's going to begin to ask demographic information, name, their social security number if they're willing to provide it, birth date, gender, citizenship, language, cultural background, current address. It verifies their address so that we know if they're putting in 123 Main Street and there's no such place in Athens, Clark County, Georgia. It will verify. It will also, nice feature, do latitude and longitude, and that's going to help us with the geocoding that is going to go on later. So you will be able to tell them where the nearest jobs are and job leads based on their physical location, which is very important in some of our more rural counties where there is no public transportation. I know some of you have that same situation, but also knowing how to get there on the bus line in our more metro and suburban places. We also have some very important features here, how they're going to let us contact them because we are doing this as increasing report backs and outreach. We want to know, can we talk to them by text? Are they going to accept that? And then we begin to ask some more very detailed information. And for some of you, this is going to be a lot of information. And we find that our job seekers do fill this out, that they do provide this information because it's going to determine their eligibility for other training programs that we have. So we don't find a lot of people who refuse this information. And you'll notice that things that have an asterisk on them are required, and things that don't are not required. So Program and Career Center are required. I happen to be sitting in Athens, Georgia, so I'm going to enroll in that program. And I'm going to say that I learned about it from a hiring event. I am not here to start a new business. We do have a self-employment program. That's why it's asked. I do want to look for a job. And because I'm talking to y'all, I want to do something in communications and technology because that seems appropriate for today. And I don't need any accommodations for work. I'm going to save that, and it's going to take me to the next screen. So this is functionality that's built out for future expansion. Right now, the only thing they can enroll in through this virtual portal is the Career Center portal, but we've got instructions for looking for more because they'll be able to register for other things as they go along. So now they're enrolled, and we're going to begin to ask more demographic information about homelessness, where they live, whether they have a criminal background, and people do answer these questions. Some of you have seen this, and we're not sure whether people would, but they do. We ask about their financial assessment. I'm going to answer yes so that you can see the smart or conditional responses. So if I say yes, it pops up these questions about those non-cash benefits. And we're starting a SNAP employment and training program, so that was an important one for us to ask. And I'm going to pretend that I receive food stamps and that I am not employed. And this is a fun one. It asks, do you want to work? And if I say no, it's going to pop up and say, you may not be eligible for our programs. Our mission at Goodwill of North Georgia is to put people to work. So if they say no, we're probably not the place for them. But I'm going to say yes. Highest grade completed is important for us. It begins to refine that job search. And I'm just going to go through and select those. These are optional, so I'm going to leave that blank for now. General health status, say excellent health, and I'm married. So we'll click through there. And transportation, I'm going to say public transportation for both. I do have a driver's license. I just want to show that. It will ask that information, but it is optional for somebody to fill out. And do they have more information about income? If I clicked through there, it would ask me more information, but for sake of time, I'm not going to walk you through the entire thing because I want to show you the whole goodie. So I've already completed one intake, but I want to show you that we want to get people to sign and gather that information. So I'm just doing this with my mouse right now and authorizing them to do all of this intake and information. You'll notice my role is as a CareerConnector user. This could be for referral sources, employers, all different kinds of forms could be used to capture the authorization. And then it tells me I've completed my registration, my username is my email, and now asks me if I want to print all of my information. I'm going to say no for the sake of time again, and it tells me all the things that I've completed. So I had gone through the entire intake with you, which took probably 10 minutes to get through. And it takes us back to the home page. So now I have access to the good stuff. So with our friends at Goodwill Industries International, we use good prospects to help populate career pathways and information so that I could begin to look at the industries that are available in my community. Excuse me. GII shared videos with us on each of these topics, but then we went and customized infographics. So if I wanted to learn about IT in North Georgia, if I click on this, it's going to show us a very nice infographic with information about the industries in Georgia, the most popular jobs in the category, fun facts about Georgia jobs, the education that it's required, the growth rate that's projected, average salary for this particular industry, what education, if I have no education, or in this case, entry level is some college. So knowing that this is a pretty high level job track and career pathway. But what happens after I have a bachelor's degree and 8 years experience, I have the potential to be a systems manager. So we have this piece of paper that they can also print, and eventually we'll be able to click on each of these particular career pathways and get information about planning their next steps. Right now, it's not quite as interactive, but they can click here and begin to do a career plan. And so we built out this functionality. Some of it was baseline, and we're enhancing it as we go. But if I wanted to set a goal, now that I know what it's going to take for IT and I don't have that background, and I want to go back to school to work in the IT field, then I can click to set a goal and in education, and I want to go enroll in school in a technical college, say, and today is the 4th, I want to do that before fall semester of this year. And I haven't completed the goal. It is 0% complete right now. And I want to say apply to Athens Tech. And if I click save, now it is going to save that goal into my own individual career pathway and career plan and keep a record of that. So now it says I have an education goal to enroll in technical colleges and apply to Athens Tech. And you can see that I can edit that, I can see the history, or I can delete it. I can also add other kinds of goals, not just education. If I want to work on financial health or personal goals, or if I want job readiness, there's all different kinds of categories in here to add. And we have populated this with all of our typical career plan from our intensive services training programs. And I was a little skeptical that people in the career centers who are primarily self-directed and they're sitting at a computer, they may ask help from one of our career coaches in the center, that they would fill this out and set goals. But we already have goals in the system, and we've only been launched since February 29th. So they're using it. It's pretty cool. So we looked at career pathways. We looked at career plans. The really good stuff is finding jobs. So we are here to help people find a job. There's a little jobs checklist which gets them started. They can update their resume. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to not just be able to upload the resume, but soon we'll be able to have integrated resume software. So the folks at Individual Software and Resume Maker Professional, we have an API. It's a new word that I learned. It means that one software talks to each other with a single sign-on. Any information in a person's profile here will be able to be passed through to the software, resume software, and I'll show you a peek of that a little bit later. But people can get skills training offered by our own Goodwill. Right now, they're going to click through and get a PDF, which has our program catalog and talks about all of the different training programs that we have available. But eventually, they'll be able to click and apply on those training programs and become enrolled in them. This is a pretty large document, so it takes just a second to load when it comes up. But we're almost there. The little blue line at the top tells us. So here it is. Here's our program catalog. So they can scroll through, see where all of our locations are across North Georgia. They'll be able to look at all of the training programs that we have, how to enroll in electronics assembly and soldering, and do all of those things, and learn all about the different kinds of skills trades and skills training programs and special population programs that we have, and print this out if they so choose. They can also update their skills and experience. So one of the things that we learned from our job seekers is that they needed a central place to keep all of their information related to their job search. And they would often find that they got called for an interview and they couldn't remember who they had applied with because they had applied for so many jobs. And so we have created this career profile and this little diary of all of the kinds of things that they have done. So I've already gone in and loaded examples of skills and experience. I've gone in and added all of my educational degrees, but also you can add skills. I'll show you a little bit how to do that. If you click edit, you can add a new one, or you can edit the ones that you've already got here. This little gear lets you do that. But let me go in here and show you how that's done for the job seeker. And we have a couple thousand in here, so it does take a minute to load. But they can go through and select any of these kinds of things, anything as random as animal husbandry, because we are rural and agricultural in Georgia, to an associate degree in advertising, and so on, and so on, and so on. So in order to refine this list, the folks at CaseWorthy made it a little easier for us. You can sort that by work history, for example, the kinds of experience that you want to put in your profile, and these are going to be important because this is how the algorithm works in the back end to match a job seeker's profile with the job listings that we put in. So let's pretend we've added some more of those, and let's cancel that, but you can imagine how that's going to work. I can also go back and I can add in keywords to do job search. I can go through and add those based on the kinds of jobs that I want to look for. So if I was looking to look for jobs in IT or technology or customer service or whatever it is that I wanted to filter, keywords are going to drive that and sort of filter through every single thing that we might have. And then I can add references. I can also schedule other kinds of events. I can set a goal to ask my contacts about jobs that they've had. I can attend networking events, view the ones that we have available, set a goal to do that, and then I can go straight to our job matches. And so it's going to show me, based on the profile, and these are real jobs, a lot that are live in our system right now, that based on the profile that I put in as Jenny Test, these are the jobs that are available to me right now. And so if I want to go be a machine operator, I can view the details of this job and see all about what's available. So this is the 40-hour week, $9 an hour, tells me the credentials, it's full-time, and it was posted yesterday, and it will be posted through the end of June. So if I want to go apply for this job at our Career Center in Cornelia, then I can do that by clicking, again, on the same button, and it'll tell me how to contact the employer and what the information is. and they didn't fill that in. So we just started this. A little bit of training required for the staff so that people know we're going to make these required fields. We'll make a note of that for those of you listening on the call. We just started February 29th, so just so you know, it will eventually be in there the right way. Okay, so let me show you some more stuff. So say I'm a job seeker and I would like to see all of the stuff that's available at our East Athens Career Center. So each of these are all of our locations, and I'm just going to do a search based on where I am. And this is telling me all of the things available in the East Athens Career Center. So if today I missed it because at 9:30 this morning there was a mock interviewing session, and tomorrow there's introduction to computers. So I'm interested in technology, so let's say I want to sign up for that class. So I just click sign up, and it puts my name in there. Of course, they're going to have a false Jenny Test, but we know that anybody named Test is not a real person. And I'm going to click save. And now if I go to my calendar, my individual one, it is going to show me that 3 times already, because I've done this demonstration a couple times, that I am signed up for that class. So I'm going to delete two of these reservations because I have duplicates. But I could look at the class details. I can also, if I've signed up for multiple things at multiple centers, it gives me a reminder of where exactly I'm going, because we've had that where people show up to the wrong career center because they thought they signed up for one thing and they signed up for something else. So this was a reminder for that. The other nice feature about the calendar is that on the back end, staff can check people in as they arrive. So people have signed up for the class. As they get there, they can, we have high volume check-in services as part of CaseWorthy, and people can just click the button and check them in as they come. We have resources that are currently live, and right now this is access to all of the videos that we have available. This is linked to our closed YouTube channel, and it shows, like, for example, the video that we just watched, all the videos associated with the industries. It also shows information about the programs that we have available, veterans, particular skills training programs. It has success stories. It has employer testimonials. All of those things are here. What will be coming soon is training classes that folks can take, and I think we might have a sneak peek for that as well, but also resources like United Way 211. So if I need nutrition and or housing services, all of those kinds of partnerships that we have in each community will be accessible through here as well. And then we have a frequently asked questions, and these are just the questions that people frequently ask about our agency and all of those things, and we'll be adding to this and populating it as we go. So this is our baby site. It was just launched and is just the first phase. By the middle of this month, we will have it available to job seekers outside of our bricks and mortar centers. What's coming soon is an activities tracker that will show, we very much like LinkedIn and how it encourages participation. So we'll have the activities that a person has completed. They will be able to earn badges based on activities that they've completed. So this is a mock-up. This is not a real site. It has a logo and duplicate information here, but I just wanted to show you what some of the functionalities that's coming. It also has this news feed that goes across the top, and an I found a job button. If you click on that, it's going to have fireworks and how to report back that job. We have live chat coming. Oops, I shouldn't have clicked on that yet. Live chat. This is fake, but it will be real. That you can chat with our staff. You can schedule an in-person appointment to come in and meet with someone. They'll have office hours available, and just like the calendar, somebody can sign up for that. Or if I want to walk in, it's going to show me my nearest center and how to get there, what hours, get directions. It's linked to Google Maps, and be able to do that. Over here, we'll have social media integration, and these are floating, so no matter where I scroll on the page, it's going to stay there so I can look at it. And contact information, and then look at this button. Send or receive encouragement. I am so excited about this button. So if I click on it today, or when it's launched, what will happen is that I can receive encouragement from Goodwill, and it's going to generate from a randomized list of 100 different phrases something encouraging to me, and it's going to come out in my news feed up here. But I can also ask for encouragement from other job seekers, or I can send encouragement to people that have asked for it. So much like the endorsement feature on LinkedIn, where I can say, you know, I'm struggling with my job search, I need some support. Somebody else can see that and say, Jenny T needs encouragement, and I can click on that and send a phrase, and it's going to be a pre-populated phrase so that we don't have plain mail and you know, people trying to hook up or anything inappropriate on the site. But then it'll scroll through and say 25 people have said keep your head up, or whatever we might say. So that's on its way. The other thing that's about to come is, because we have many kinds of employers that we're connected with, we'll have Goodwill jobs that are posted. We will have preferred employer partners, the jobs that we have posted, but then also to make sure that we have enough volume to meet the folks, we will differentiate in a separate bucket jobs that come in from Indeed, so that we can offer the very hyper-local jobs that we have in the relationships, but also give people the high volume in another bucket and let them see that. I did want to show you a little bit as well, and I see an error up here, so yeah, I'm gonna see if I can refresh that and get back into the database. I probably was timed out and waited too long, so I'm gonna show you instead. Go back over here and give you a peek of the badges. The software, the resume software, and then I'll log back in to the site so that you can see. But here's what the resume software is going to look like. So it'll have a button where you can click. You're already logged in, and it's going to take you over to the resume software. It's got our logo on it, and they'll be able to do their resume through the portal because this is the self-directed feature. So we have staff that will help them do their resume, but if they want to just do it themselves, then we wanted to have this available for them so that it would pre-populate all of their information. So it's going to harvest all those skills and credentials and demographic information, pull it over so they don't have to retype it all. And then here's an example of some of the badges that we'll have as well. So it'll be all different kinds of things, and we can customize this. So if they've done a certain number of things that an employer may say that they've gone through, for example, they've finished their resume, they've gone through Dress for Success, they've done interviewing skills, and they earn a particular badge, then we're going to incentivize earning that badge by letting them be first in line for the next hiring event, that kind of thing. So I did want to show you that. So I am going to click back over. Do you want to take over the screen for a second so that I can log back into the database?
I absolutely can. I don't have much to show unless you want me to go through some reports or something. But some of the other functionality, maybe we could go through some of the screenshots here in your PowerPoint. So let me open that and I'll take the screen over. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see where we want to go here.
Well, I think I'm going to be logged in.
You might be faster than me, huh?
Yeah. So if it loads, we'll be good.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So this is the back end of the software. This is the actual database. What you've been looking at is the portal. So this is the database. This is what the staff see on the other side. And so Jenny Test, this is the same person, but on the case management side of the system. So I'm not going to dig deep into that, but you can see that there's quite a bit of information that I can dig into, and we could do another 4 hours of webinar on that. But I'm not going to show you. But I do want to show you one cool thing. So one of the things that I love about this database is this. So this is live, real-time data. Indianapolis has cool stuff like this too. A lot of you do, really. We just came back from Phoenix and saw. But I'm looking at current program enrollment. So the big kahuna, the high volume numbers, is the Career Center. So you can see I have 110,000 people currently active through our database and portal who are accessing Career Center services. But because everybody else seems like small fries in there, I'm going to go ahead and take that off so that I can see everybody else. So you can see if I hover over these, I can see all the different programs that we have. And so if I'm curious and want to see the 386 people that are currently enrolled in our college co-enrollment model, we call it C3, a lot of Goodwills call it C4. If I click on that piece of the pie, it drills down to all of the locations that we have, and I can see that South DeKalb has 183 people, but if I want to look at East Athens and see the 9 people that are represented as current enrollment and click on that, it shows me their names. Now, I'm going to click away quickly because I don't want you to see their names for very long. But let me go over to reporting and show you one more cool thing. So these are all the custom reports that we have developed, the CaseWorthy built for us, and that's some that our staff have worked on. It's a dashboard. You can customize your dashboard however you want to, but I'll show you some of our cool charts that we have. Very basic. If I click and run a report, this one is going to show you on that 20,000 people that I told you about earlier. That's our goal. I can look at real-time data. We're 2 business days, May 4th, into the month of May. So far, 49 people have gone to work in the month of May this fiscal year. I can compare that to the last 2 Mays that we have, and you can see that last May was 1,700 people, and the May before that was 2,197, and so far we're at 16,880 people towards our goal of 20,000 for the months of May and June. So this is a very handy report that lets us know how we're doing. It is real-time data, and as you saw, I could click and drill down and look at that. So I think that's actually all I have to show. So do we want to go on time? 12:47. We got 13 more minutes, right?
We do. I mean, there are some features like the live chat and different things that are coming in later phases for you, Jenny. Do you want to talk about any of those other features that are on their way?
We can. So let me click back over to my PowerPoint because I think I put some of those. Maybe I put some of those in the PowerPoint. Maybe not. Badges were one that's coming. Live chat is coming. Training modules so people can take classes with quizzes. We've integrated some learning management system kinds of tools into the software that are coming very soon. The activity tracker, the scroll, all of those things are coming. Social media integration. We should have all of that before the end of this fiscal year. But I see we have lots of questions. Should we answer some of those questions?
I think so. I've got a few that I'm ready to read right now to you. If we go here, we have one from Stephen. Hi, who inputs and where do they get job leads to load into the system? So I guess, is that a scenario where you guys are allowing providers or employers to input their own job orders? Or so can you explain your process?
Yeah.
Jenny?
Sure. So right now, our Career Center staff and our employment specialists are putting the job leads into the system. But the nice thing about CaseWorthy is that you can differentiate the roles of the people that log in. So just like you saw that we have staff-only views, if I change, let me minimize some of this. Right now, I'm a system administrator over here, so you can see my role. But if I change my role, I could be an employer role, or I could be a case manager role, or whoever I want to be over here in this system, and it will control what the person can see. So an employer could put in, that's the next step, that the employers can have their own logins and their own accounts, and they can put the job leads in directly.
That's great. Thank you, Jenny.
I'll put that in. Sure.
The next question is about time tracking. I'll speak for just a second to the capabilities. CaseWorthy does have the capability to track any time for processes, for completion, unit time that you're spending with individuals. Jenny, are you actively tracking the amount of time that your staff is spending with clients?
We are, but we're not using CaseWorthy to do that yet. So most of our services have gone from quarter-hour increment fee-for-service to benchmark payment. So we aren't using it, but I think I'm still sharing my screen. You can see the different kinds of activities in the system that you can use to track, and you can also do client timesheets and billing in the system. So those are there. We have not quite launched that part because our focus was on the job seeker and what you saw in the portal, but that capability is inside CaseWorthy.
Thank you, Jenny. The next question from Bill is, can you show the hyperlocal job search? Do you know what he's referring to there?
Yeah, so if I go back over to the portal and click on the Find Jobs, what is going right now, what's going to show in the system is any jobs that match my profile. So it is doing a search based on the keywords that I've put in and the profile that I've put in. So it's hyper personal at this point. It's only showing jobs that I am qualified for. Whereas in the future, they'll be able to search by each job, and it's going to differentiate jobs that we've loaded that are from my Goodwill Employment Specialist and their account. It will also show the jobs that are working for Goodwill. So the talent acquisition and recruitment team will have the Goodwill jobs for donor services and all of those things. But it will also show a broader search of that and show all of those details. Let me get that screen back open. This is what's showing now is what's baseline in CaseWorthy. It shows us all job search that match my profile is what I'm clicking on. So it's going to show me every single job, where it is, and I'll be able to search by location. So if I want to look at just jobs in Athens, Georgia, I can do that and filter this list, or just jobs that are recent, that have been posted in the last 30 days or the last week, or just full-time jobs, or whatever search criteria I want to do. You'll see here what's coming is preferred employer partners, new jobs, Goodwill jobs, and then it will also show us, it'll differentiate and show us that broader category of all jobs through the Indeed, through that harvester. Indeed, it just compiles job leads from all different sites, so that was why we chose them, and they have an open API, so they share nicely. I hope that answers that question.
I think you did. That's great. Thank you, Jenny. And just to reiterate here, this is a development site still. We're actively working on all of this. So thank you for navigating with the few errors, Jenny. And here we go. We've got another one from Bobby. How long did it take to create the portal and data before you went live? So I guess from the kickoff to now, I guess you have to take into consideration the amount of time that you spent planning, the wireframes that you built. So I guess maybe break that down versus how long your relationship with CaseWorthy spent.
Yeah. So you also have to keep in mind that we are a very large Goodwill. So we had more than 600,000 records that we had to move out of GoodTrack into CaseWorthy database, and that was the first step. And that took all of 18 months. To do that. It was quite a long process to migrate our data, to configure the system exactly how we wanted it, and then to do the portal and to build this. And I have to do a shout out to a local company, 3 Squared, who helped us to design the user interface to make I always want to make it pretty and intuitive to our job seekers to build this. But the good news is this. One of the wonderful things about CaseWorthy is it's not quite open source, but it is very much a shared resource. So any of the functionality that our friends at Goodwill in Houston built is available to Goodwill of North Georgia. The functionality that we built in this portal, that we customized and paid for development and built the way that this is now part of the baseline system for y'all. So our content is exclusive to us. So the things like the videos and the words and pictures that we use, but the functionality, the ability to do career plans, career pathways, to register people, to find jobs, to do calendars, to do resources, and all of the stuff that's coming in the next month, that functionality is available today for y'all. So you don't have to go through that same long period of time to develop it and build it, because it's built now. And so if you chose to go through this, it would be part of your annual licensing agreement. And I'm sure the fine folks at CaseWorthy will talk you through that if that's something you're interested in.
Great, thank you, Jenny. The next question is, do you create any reports, or has CaseWorthy created all of them? And also, as a tag on, do you do ad hoc reporting?
All of the above. So CaseWorthy comes with baseline reports. So that first one that I showed in administration that does the real-time enrollment on the dashboard is a baseline report that's straight out of CaseWorthy. It just exists. As soon as you put your data in there, that's going to be available to you. We have some including ASR. ASR is a baseline report it takes a little bit of connecting the fields between your systems, but there are baseline reports in the system that CaseWorthy just has out of the box when you buy it. But then we also have custom reports that we built, as you can imagine, based on the funders that we have and the various grants that we have. We required that. So we paid CaseWorthy to build those reports for us. It wasn't an extra development cost to do custom reports. It's modest. But we're also doing a train the trainer so that our staff, our system administrators, and I have 2 system administrators for the database side, and we have 3 staff for the portal side, that they will have the technical skills to be able to write their own reports and do ad hoc reports using SQL is the platform that exists.
Yes, thank you, Jenny.
So all of the above.
We do allow for anyone who has SQL experience to be able to write the reports and render them directly out from CaseWorthy. We're excited that you're adding some folks to your team. By what fields are jobs categorized and searchable? Occupation, zip code, wage, education, etc.
All of them.
That is a good way to put it. Any criteria that you'd like to search on, as long as you're capturing that, can be used as a filtering agent or a criteria to limit the view of available jobs. We have a question here about APIs. CaseWorthy does have a defined API. The only requirement is that both systems are willing to interface with one another. Darian, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please send in another one. Is there an audit trail feature so you can audit users and what they do in the system? The answer to that is yes. The full HIPAA compliance there, we track who was in the system, what they changed, what was the previous value of that field, and what did they change it to. The next question, it was the integration question again, Darian. We support a variety of them. We have to define what fields you want to share, what information you want to pass back and forth. But it's something that we do on a singular one-by-one basis because your system will be customized to your specific needs. So those interfaces will have to be written and the tables, all those fields added correctly to the columns on those tables. That kind of rounds out all the questions that are in currently, folks. We've got a few minutes. I know Jenny's willing to stay on the line here to answer any questions that you do have. If you have more, please send them in.
Right, you skipped a couple. I think we sort of answered this one already. Is CareerConnector tool specific to this Goodwill, or is it a tool that CaseWorthy developed that any customer can have access to develop for their agency use? So yes and no. Goodwill of North Georgia built it. CareerConnector is our branded version of it, and all of the content is ours. But the functionality is something that you can purchase as part of your license agreement with CaseWorthy. So all of the way it behaves and the database behind it, you can buy. And then, are you keeping data on how much staff time is spent assisting participants in using the connector? Can you give an average range? So, this is self-directed. Participants sit down at a computer or at a kiosk that's for registration only, so if they're brand new, and they fill this out themselves. If they need help, they raise their hand, or our staff will go and sit with the person and help them get through it, but it is entirely self-directed to do all of this. It did take a little, there was a very clear age differentiation because we used paper before and now it's all electronic. For job seekers over the age of 50, they generally need more time. They do need some help and a little bit of coaching from our staff to help them get through the system. For our younger job seekers in the 20 and under range, what they did is went through it very quickly and would skip some important things. And so we learned from that and made part of the workflow mandatory so that like they couldn't skip logging a service and enrolling in our program. So we made some of those mandatory because they were going through it too fast to register. But what we learned from Phoenix, which we found is true as well, is that we had an immediate increase in our new entrant count. And the reason for that is, in the past, people would come in and we would say, hi, welcome to the center. Have you been here before? And they said, oh, yeah, I filled out a registration. And they would sign in on the sheet and then go sit down and use a computer. Well, now they have to have a username and password to sit down at the computer and go through this. And so we were capturing all of the people who had not previously registered who were saying, yeah, I've been in here before. And they really hadn't, or they hadn't filled out that information in a year more. And so it wasn't showing in our system. So with that ability to immediately capture that, it was a great benefit to us. It has alleviated staff time from doing data entry because you can imagine 60,000 pieces of paper we had to put in. So we're saving time with staff, and they've been repurposed to other things, connecting with employers and reporting job placements instead of putting in new entrant information. And so this is definitely an efficiency improvement.
Hey, Jenny, thank you for that, but you did spawn one more question. How is the workstation security implemented that you just mentioned?
Okay, so we have WISE terminals within each center, and the person has to have already registered in the system or will be at a kiosk to register for the first time. And so they're sitting at the computer and logging in it's an authenticated, they become an authenticated user for both the WISE terminal, and there's a single sign-on between the two now that causes them to do that. And we also have a timeout feature that will lock them out without any activity and will log them out, so they have to log back in. It's encrypted. Probably the actual security stuff is better for CaseWorthy to answer. Our IT department made sure that it met all of those very strict standards that we have for keeping client information confidential. But CaseWorthy can probably answer the rest of that.
Yeah, and if you want to get super technical, Darian, on single sign-ons and how everything works, I'd gladly take your call and we can chat about that offline here. There doesn't seem to be very many questions coming in, Jenny. I think that you've answered all of them very well, and you were very thorough in your presentation. So thank you very much. Very excited to have you with us today, and thank you everyone for joining us on the call. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to respond to that email invite that you received, to give us a call at the number that we showed on the screen earlier. Reach out to any of us, find us on the website, fill out a contact form, take a minute to look at some of those case studies to find other organizations like yours and how CaseWorthy was implemented there. And Jenny, do you have anything else you'd like to say? We're just happy to have you on the call.
For those of you that are going to be in Indianapolis, we will have a session on this among some of our other peers on Tuesday at the Spring Learning event, and you'll be able to go in and try it out because we'll have some tablets there for you to click around.
That's great. Doesn't get much better than a hands-on trial. All right. Well, I think that ends everything for us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll be talking to you soon, Jenny. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Bye.